Hi everyone, Joyce Frieden here. As most of you know, the purpose of the Right to Know Committee is to ensure that health officials at all levels of the government, federal, state, and local, give reporters full access to information related to healthcare and health policy, answer day-to-day queries from journalists, and make themselves available for interviews and press conferences. Now we're taking our mission a step further by honoring journalists who have gone above and beyond in pursuing access and calling out a lack of transparency. We've established a new award, the Sunshine Award, to recognize one such journalist each year. The award includes this lovely lucite trophy, expenses for the conference, and a cash award of $500. Our first award goes to a reporter who bravely pointed out the restrictive press policies of HHS's Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, otherwise known as CMS. When the committee saw his article, we knew we needed to give the story and its author the recognition they deserved. We plan to continue this tradition annually from now on, so please consider nominating yourself or a colleague for next year's award. And now I want to tell you about our awardee for this year, Bob Herman. Bob is a Business of Healthcare reporter at STAT, and since joining STAT in 2022, he has quickly made a big name for himself. He was named a Pulitzer co-finalist in 2024 for the series Denied by AI, and was a co-winner of the 2025 George Polk Award for the series Healthcare's Colossus. In his Sunshine Award-winning piece for STAT, Bob implores CMS to, quote, end the opacity with reporters and the public. He lambastes the agency for making reporters who have questions fill out an online form only to receive back an empty statement that can't be attributed to anyone. He ends by noting that when he asked CMS for a comment, using the online form, of course, the agency responded in part, no reporter is entitled to interviews, press calls, or access to internal staff. That lack of transparency and access is exactly what we are battling. And now, I have the honor and pleasure to present the first annual AHCJ Sunshine Award to Bob Herman. Bob, come on up.
Thank you, Joyce. It was funny when Joyce called me. In the back of my head, I was like, so you're giving me an award just for being grumpy. And I swear I'm not grumpy all the time, although others might disagree. But I think I was pushed over the edge years ago when CMS put out a rule about Medicare Advantage, and they had not been doing press calls, but instead they did a stakeholder call. This was just with stock analysts, people who worked in the industry, and I was so pissed off. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Why is this allowed to continue? And so my grumpiness had always been around, but it started to accelerate from there. And I think there has just been, this has been the culture for so long. And I've only been doing this for 15 years, so this is the normal that I know. And I think we need to establish that this is not normal, and we shouldn't accept it. So when we say, you know, if a spokesperson says this is attributable to someone in background, don't do it. Name them, name names. And I think that's something we should all do. And this is also leached into the corporate side as well. Think about it. How hard is it to go to a company and get anyone to talk? It's very hard. And we shouldn't accept it. And I think it's especially the case in healthcare. Obviously with CMS, they're a public agency. They're funded by taxpayers. We do have a right to talk to them. But in the private sector, they are getting Medicare, Medicaid, taxpayer subsidized employer coverage as their revenue. we should hold them to a much higher standard than they're currently getting, where I think we're letting way too many of them off the hook. So I think all of us should be a bit more grumpy. So thank you again to Joyce and AHCJ for everything, and I appreciate this so much.